Alright guys, welcome back to the Drone Camp's Quad Bench. We're looking at a new drone here today. This is by some company called iDrone, and I got this one from GearBest. It was like $33. Now for a trainer drone, this is awesome. This is for someone who just wants to go out there and play around and have fun, and really just to learn how to fly a quadcopter, or just for the pure enjoyment of flying it. And that's what this is all about, stepping back from some of the really complicated quads like the racer quads and the aerial quads. Starting out with something like this is absolutely perfect. I started out with something a lot smaller than this one, and it was hard to fly outdoors. Any kind of wind, it just blew away. This one has enough weight to it that you can fly it outdoors, and it has multiple flight modes on there, so it lets you fly it faster or more aggressive. If it's windy at all, you're going to have to fly in that higher rate mode. Go to mode 3 there. If you flip on the side of the controller right here, this little S right here, this actually changes the speed. So you can go 1, 2, 3 into the third position, and then you'll fly a lot quicker into the wind. I found that like in mode 1, it was actually kind of not really gaining any ground into the wind. So, but if you have a calm day, you can fly it nice and level. And for the next version of this, and since this is a review, one con about this one is that the camera is fixed. It's a fixed position camera, and it's pretty much horizontal there, straight ahead. So when you're flying faster, it kind of points at the ground a little bit. That's a drawback, but this was only $33, so you just fly a little higher and then you're looking at more scenery. But if you're flying low to the ground, you're going to be looking at a lot of grass, like what happened in some of my videos. But I like to fly low and fast sometimes. That's fun. So a future version, I'd like to see maybe this camera could tilt a little bit. Guys at iDrone, if you're watching this, that would be great for consumers, that they'd be able to do that. But the camera's really, really good on here. I was really surprised at the quality of this camera for a toy drone. 2 megapixel camera on here. You have stills and video. The colors were really vibrant, as you could see in that first part of the video, and it was really kind of fine grain video. I was surprised. I thought it would be a little more blurry. I cleaned my camera off and made sure it was nice and clean before I started flying, and it did look great. You also have the option on here to add a micro SD card, and that just goes in this little slot on this side right here. Goes in like this and clicks into place, and once you start recording, you press right here on this transmitter and you'll see a little red light start blinking, a little LED right inside there. Don't pay attention to this one so much, but this one will also blink. This is the one you want to look for to make sure that your quad is recording. Now this one doesn't have Wi-Fi on it. This is kind of one of the base models. There's an even cheaper one you can get at this one. It's like $22. That doesn't have the camera. So if you just want to fly it for pure quadcopter enjoyment, no videos, just to learn how to fly a quad, you could do that really cheap one. And I think they fly great. I think this one flies really good. It was super fast, and in that first mode, if you're learning, it's slow enough to learn where the orientation is. Now, it is all black, and another con of this would be that it's all black. So for beginners, you might want to take and maybe just color the rear of it, say red, and then have the front green or something like that, so you can tell what's the front and what's the back. Because once it gets up there like this, kind of hard to see which side is which. It all looks kind of the same here, so that's going to be important for the new guys. And this one is, that's who this one's geared at. This is geared at people who are brand new. Maybe your son or daughter wants to learn how to fly quads, and this one's perfect for that. Now it also comes with a little 1S battery. This just plugs into a little USB charger that comes along with it. Charges up in about 30 minutes, I believe. And it has sort of that little hub stand style connector on here. See if I can get it to focus for you. There you go. You can find these batteries super, super cheap. They are very inexpensive, $1 to $2 a piece, I believe. So very affordable if you wanted to get like 4 or 5 batteries, because they can never fly just one. Now honestly, I did actually break the gears in one of my motors. I stripped half of the motor pinion gear right here on this front motor. You can see it kind of free spinning there, and the other ones don't quite free spin as much. But even though I stripped half the gears on that motor pinion right there, it still flies. This thing is still flying. I put it in the driveway when I got home. I was a little bit bummed. I heard some kind of noise rattling. I thought I had a twig in there or something, but actually it was this motor had stripped. So I put it down in the driveway when I got home, and I flew it around in my yard, and it still flew even with that gear half stripped like that. So pretty cool. I would be pretty bummed if it didn't fly after a few flights and I stripped some gears. So just to be totally honest about that, I did strip gears, but I was also bashing around really hard. And most of you guys aren't going to do quite a durability test like I will, but I usually put stuff to the test for you guys so you can see the true quality of things. Now the flight time on this, it seemed to be 5 to 6 minutes. It says on the box that it flies for 5 minutes, and the approximate charging time of the battery was 50 minutes. It seemed like my battery charged quicker than that also. So it's nice that it does come with this 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, and it's kind of cool, it's kind of cute. It has a lot of buttons on here and a lot of features packed into it. It has mode 2 style throttle here. And up on the very top, a little S, positive and negative right here, that's for changing your speed, like I was showing you earlier. Then there's your photo button here, your video, you just press that once to start the video. And then you have your 360 flip button right here. Just make sure you're nice and high when you press that button for the first time. 10 feet up would probably be just fine. On the right hand side, you have your roll and your pitch forward and back there. And these little buttons down here, those are for the trim. I usually don't mess with those at all. Don't even mess with these. Leave them totally center. And you have your on-off switch there with your LED indicator. I usually turn on the quad first and then the transmitter second for this particular quad. On the back of it, it does take 2 AA batteries. I've got my rechargeable ones in there. You should probably do the same thing with yours so that you don't have to keep buying batteries over and over. But this is a really great place to start, and I'd like to see more of the iDrone products. I think they make a pretty cool little beginner quad, so I'm pretty impressed with this one so far, especially for the price. That's about it for this review, you guys. Thanks for watching this one. This one was a ton of fun, and I had a lot of fun just kind of taking it easy out in the field for once, and not taking things so serious with this little iDrone i3S.